Hey guys, welcome to the third episode of the Layman's Aviationist. In this episode, we'll be covering some basic navigation systems. Today, we'll be using a more advanced software called DCS. It is similar to the previous one in terms of being a flight simulator, however it is much more detailed in terms of cockpit functionality. This allows us to interact with the instruments a bit more. Currently, we are on the editor map. Here, we can manipulate the scenario in whichever way we like. Over here, we can see multiple points. These are called waypoints. We use these for navigation, and they're programmed into your plane's computer prior to taking off. Each of these points has a coordinate and an altitude for your plane's exact position. In between these lines, I have made a dotted red line to show the course line. The course is essentially your flight path and is sort of like your aerial road to different waypoints or checkpoints. The waypoint type of navigation is called the INS system. INS stands for Inertial Navigation System. The second type of navigation is used only for landings or on the final approach, and it is called the ILS. The ILS stands for the Instrument Landing System. At airports, a machine fires out a beam of radiation that gives the pilot a glide slope to the runway. Now what the glide slope is to the pilot is sort of a three-dimensional road going downhill to their landing point. In other words, this is just the trajectory the pilot must take for a proper touchdown. So we will be using two instruments for this episode. One that you will be familiar with if you have watched the previous episode, but it also has a new instrument that you will not have seen yet, which is great for navigation. Now, the familiar instrument is called the ADI, or the Attitude Director Indicator. The other unfamiliar instrument is called the HSI, or otherwise, the Horizontal Situation Indicator. The HSI has two needles. Now, it has a white one and it has a yellow one. The yellow one points directly to the waypoint from your position. So this is the fastest way to your waypoint as the crow flies. The white needle shows the direction of the course line. Now, to know that you are on the course to the waypoint, the yellow needle has to be at the same heading as the white needle, so they both have to be on top of each other. Now, as an example, if I wanted to go to waypoint 1, but my horizontal situation indicator showed the white as going to my heading and the yellow one a bit to my left, if I was to open up a GPS, it would be exactly like this. So as we can see, waypoint 1 is right over here, and this is our plane. Now, what the needle means is that since I'm centered on the white needle, this means that I am moving parallel to the course line, and I need to move more to the left. So essentially, I need to change my heading and go at a slanted angle to join up with the correct course line that goes to my waypoint. Now, this may be a lot to take in, but just to get a bit more familiar with how these two instruments work, let's do a test run inside the game. Alright, so I'll be starting off right in the air. This cockpit is much more detailed in terms of functionality and instruments, but we'll only be focusing on the HSI, or the Horizontal Situation Indicator, which is right over there, and the ADI, or the Attitude Direction Indicator. We will be going to waypoints 4 and 5 using the Inertial Navigation System, and by then, we will have entered the glide slope of an airport. On the final approach, which is the final trajectory I will take to land, I will demonstrate how the instrument landing system works. So let's start off. Now, this monitor in front of us is called the heads-up display. This is not really relevant to you guys at all. However, the small number in the bottom right shows you which waypoint we have selected and are currently traveling to. As you can see, the number is 4. Therefore, we are traveling to waypoint 4. If we look at our Horizontal Situation Indicator, we can see that the white and yellow needle are lined up but a bit to the right. Using common sense, we know that we need to move more to the right so that we are on the correct course line that will take us to our final waypoint, or otherwise known as waypoint 5. Now, let's try to go over there and get on the proper course and waypoint line. I will now unfreeze my plane from the air. Right now, we are moving. We can turn a bit to the right just so that we can censor the white and yellow needle on the HSI. We can maintain our speed and start to drop a little bit in terms of altitude. Now, we have entered the glide slope of an airport. We know this because our mode changed from return to landing. So, what I'm going to do over here is increase my flaps to the maximum. As you can see, on the very left, a lever has changed. Now, my plane is automatically moving up, so to account for that, I need to push the nose much lower. However, even though I'm producing lift, I am also producing a coefficient of drag. So we always need to keep that in mind. Continuing in our downward descent, we can drop even lower, as we are currently way higher than we need to be. As a result of going lower, we will also pick up in airspeed due to our downward descent, as well as our angle of attack, of course. To compensate for that, we can turn on our air brakes, which you can see going up right there at the tip of the wing. We can further decrease speed and drop our landing gear. Now, if we look at our ADI, we can see that we are currently centered on the vertical yellow needle. Zoom in. Right there. Perfect. As you can see, the white on the HSI is also lined up. We have moved a bit to the right, so to compensate for that, we can just move a bit to the left. Further reducing our thrust, we can start to reduce our speed, produce more drag, and slow our aircraft down for landing speeds. Now, eventually, we will see a horizontal needle that will also line up with our aircraft's position on the ADI. Now, this gives us an exact description of our glide slope. Over here, just to give you a better view, we can now see that I am about to land. This is quite a steep angle of attack, however, we can easily make do with it. And there we go, we have a perfect touchdown. So again guys, thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe it with your friends who are interested. And thank you for watching.